Hi, my name's Tiana, and our group is doing premarital sex. And the first topic I want to talk about is the sacredicity of sex, if that's how you say that word. But in many people's eyes, sex is a sacred event that occurs when a man and a woman feel emotionally and spiritually connected, which then turns into a physical relationship. Therefore, it is believed that you should wait until you find the one. But if that's the case, then why is polygamy still practiced today in 58 out of 200 countries? And polygamy dates back to 1852 and 1890, where the founder of the Church of Christ of Latter-day Saints, Joseph Smith, had 28 wives. And the second president for the same church had 52 wives and 56 kids. So how can sex be so sacred to some if it's no longer a union between one man and one woman, but multiple? In God's original plan for marriage, Genesis chapter 2, verse 24, when one man, Adam, and one woman, Eve, are united together, they become one flesh. Therefore the man shall leave his mother and leave his father and hold fast to his wife, and they'll become one. Sacredness is excluded out of the equation when the sacred moment isn't shared between two people but multiple. Also, a big issue in today's society is the stressed abstinence programs that we see today in a lot of high schools and colleges. They've become ineffective, unethical, and cause poor public health due to the lack of education on sex itself. Instead of them just telling us not to have sex or to wait, they're not educating us on sex.
I am for premarital sex because marriage is a big step financially and can cause serious problems between you and your spouse. For instance, your spouse can be in serious debt, and if she can't pay, she expects her husband to pay it off, or at least help pay for it. If you refuse to at least help her, she will be furious, and even if the debt was before you married her, she will still feel you should help. It will eventually build stress up between you and your spouse. It may eventually end in a split. Marriage gets real sticky when couples split. For example, if a couple buys a home together with community funds and both are on the title, it's community property. Things get complicated when the property remains in one spouse's name and then both spouses pay the mortgage from separate funds. It gets very complicated to determine whether you or your spouse will keep the property, even though it was your house from the beginning. In conclusion, I would just recommend not getting married, especially if you're not financially up to par, or your spouse as well.
First, marriage existed before any government was organized. For thousands of years, people were getting married with no such thing as a marriage license. According to the Bible, God sketched out his original plan for marriage. He states that marriage, to him, is just one man and one woman that unites together and becomes one flesh. So as long as you, your spouse, and God have a good relationship, you are considered married in his eyes, and you didn't have to be legally married. According to livescience.com, it states marriage license application records from government authorities are widely available starting from the mid-19th century, which shows that before the 19th century, marriage license or any legal document of marriage didn't exist, which proves that a piece of paper wasn't important to have then, so it's not important to have now. Also, if any natural disaster were to occur in this present day, such as a fire, a hurricane, etc., or the internet were to get wiped out somehow, you and your spouse will have no proof of being married. So overall, I feel that a piece of paper won't make any difference. It's the love and private commitment to each other that matters.
Having sex before marriage creates stronger bonds between two people. Empathy, love, and passion increases every time two people have sex. Premarital sex strengthens the union between two people because it allows you to open up more with your partner. Nietzsche says that if lovers were better friends, relationships would be healthier. Great friends support and encourage each other to look beyond themselves, to achieve their goals, and to become better people. Oxytocin is a hormone that is involved in childbirth, breastfeeding, and it also is associated with empathy, trust, sexual activity, and relationship building. Oxytocin creates stronger bonds between two people while having sex. So this hormone is released every day, and some people might not know it, but like it's released when you have a like relationship with a friend. Like if it's released just by touching somebody, it's released all the time. So it's a hormone that is released constantly, and even more while two people are having sex.
Virginity can be described as more valuable or comedy towards men and women. Virginity is also man-made because they consider virginity something that you should keep before marriage or before you want to have sex with any other partner. Sexuality is also regulated by religion, which makes sex shameful and taboo outside of marriage. And for women, if you lose your virginity early, it is wrong, and if you lose it in a wrong way, that is, the wrong person or at the wrong time, then we label them as easy or call them rebellious. If a woman sleeps with a numerous amount of women, is she still considered a virgin? Or if a man sleeps with a numerous amount of men, is he still considered a virgin? Because when they say that when you lose your virginity, it's between a man and a woman, but are you still a virgin?
Friedrich Nietzsche stated that chastity is a virtue with some, but with many it is almost a vice. Millennials are more open to ideal premarital sex. Therefore, it decreases the stress to not have sex before marriage. Also, it is a proven fact that older generations were mostly the only ones who believed in premarital sex, but still did it. Furthermore, it's almost as if the premarital sex forces you at an early age to marriage just for you to have sex, or for you to wait a long time to have sex with your partner.
Sexual compatibility plays a big part in a relationship, especially in marriage. Did you know marriage used to mean consenting to your partner forever, whenever? 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 3 through 5. The husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. The wife does not have authority over her own body, but yields it to her husband. In the same way, the husband does not have authority over his own body, but yields it to his wife. Do not deprive each other, except perhaps by mutual consent, and for a time, so that you may devote yourselves to prayer. Then come together again, so that Satan will not tempt you because of your lack of self-control. So if you and your partner are not sexually compatible and cannot please one another, how do you prevent depriving each other from sexual contact? And if you never had sex, or premarital sex to be specific, how do you know if you're sexually compatible? Sexually compatible marriages have less stress and arguments. Sex decreases stress and improves overall health. Relationships without sexual compatibility have a high chance of leading to divorce. This is because partners who are not pleased cheat, which is the main cause of divorce. Infidelity causes 43% of all divorces in the United States. The majority of the partners who cheat are not sexually pleased in their relationship. So sexual compatibility plays a big